happened probably like 8 months ago, 7 months ago. Dove was in school, and Dove was having lunch with. Can you stop slurping? Can you finish your drink?
Could you tell them the
I'm
story
gonna tell-
about basketball?
I'll tell basketball as well, but first we're going to talk about lunch. So Dove was in school, and he was having lunch with his friends. They were sitting in the cafeteria behind the table, having lunch, and then Dove started fooling around with one of his friends. They were playing in the
Gordy and Leo.
Yeah, they were playing in the lunchroom, and you know how in the lunchroom you have these little like plastic chairs that all the kids sit on. So Dove, he was messing around with his friends, and he picked up this plastic chair for some reason, and he was holding it up. And at the same time, there was a girl in his class who was playing with her friends, and she was running. She was running around the room. And what do you think happened?
She hit her head on the chair.
And that's exactly what happened, Juliana. She hit her head on one of the legs of the chair that Dove was holding. Now, do you guys think that Dove hit her with the chair intentionally? Do you think he hit her with the chair on purpose? Or do you think it was an accident?
It was an accident.
Accident.
Very good. So that is what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about intent, things that are intentional and things that are accidental. Okay?
Pop, now let's do the basketball one.
Yes, hang on. People have some hands up already. Yes, Juliana.
I was going to ask if you could do the basketball story.
The basketball story. So yesterday, I got Dove a basketball. It came in the mail, and we went outside to play basketball with Dove. You guys want to see Dove playing basketball?
Yes.
All right, let me show you videos of Dove playing basketball. Hang on a sec. A video that I made of. No, that's not it.
That's a bike.
Yeah, that's the bike one. I'm going to show you a video of Dove playing basketball yesterday.
Don't see your screen share.
I'm going to. Hang on, I'm setting up the video. Okay. Screen share. Can you guys see that? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here is. Oops. Nope, that wasn't it.
That's from the corner. Man, that was swish.
Fun. That Dove.
You guys like that?
That Dove.
Cool. That was Dove playing basketball. That was his first day with a real basketball in his hands, and he did pretty well, I think. But let me tell you the story. How many of you guys have played basketball before? Yeah. Do you have a kid-sized basketball or an adult-sized basketball?
I have a kid's ball, like with Super Mario everywhere.
Oh, nice. And did you go to the playground to play basketball, or do you have a basketball hoop at your house?
I have two like kids basketball hoops.
Nice. So we were playing basketball with Dove, and there's a couple different games you can play when you play basketball, right? You can play a game called Horse. Who knows how that game works? The game of Horse? Yes, Juliana. How does it work?
So like someone shoots from somewhere, if they make it, the other person has to shoot from there. If they don't, they get an H. And
That's right.
whoever spells the whole word horse.
I don't understand.
So it's like one person picks a spot from anywhere on the basketball court and they shoot the ball, right? And for example, Dove and I are playing, right? I shoot the ball. If I make it, then Dove has to make a shot from the exact same place on the basketball court, right? If he makes that, then the game continues and he doesn't get any letters. But if he doesn't make the shot, then he gets an H, right? And then you keep going like that. And the first person that spells horse, how do you spell horse? Who can spell horse for me?
H-O-R-S-E-S.
H-O-R-S-E. That's right. So if you get H-O-R-S-E, that means you miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots, then you lose, right? So
I'm a unicorn, and a unicorn is a horse.
yeah, so if you played unicorn in basketball, that would be U-N-I-C-O-R-N. So that was 7 shots, right?
No.
If you play
But I want horse.
So you could play horse, or you could play a game called one-on-one, which is where each person is trying to score the ball and the other person is playing defense. They're not letting them score the ball, right? So Dove and we played horse yesterday, and then we also played one-on-one. And while we were playing one-on-one, Dove was trying to score the ball, and I was playing defense. And Dove shot the ball. He threw it at the basket, and it bounced off the basket, and it bounced back, and it hit him in the finger.
No, in my hand.
Where, in the head?
No, in my hand.
Oh, in his hand.
I told you.
It hit him in his hand. And how did you feel in the hand, Dove?
Sad and
What's that word? What's that word when we put everything in the blender? Frustrated and angry and all those words.
exasperated.
He felt exasperated. And he was crying and he was really angry and upset. Now the question is, he hurt his hand playing basketball yesterday. Was it intentional? Did I hurt him intentionally when I was playing with him, or was it accidental?
Accidental.
Yeah, I think it was accidental, right? And then a couple minutes passed and we're still playing. Dove got up. He stopped crying. We kept playing. And then I was dribbling the ball and he was playing defense and he tried to steal the ball from me, but he tripped over my foot and he fell down on the ground. And what did you hurt? Your leg? Your elbow? What happened?
I just landed like this when I was opening my mouth.
Oh, he
And
landed.
on my hands, and then you got dirt in me and rocks.
He got some dirt in his mouth and he got some, he kind of landed pretty hard and it was pretty painful for him. Do you guys think that, yeah, Juliana?
Yesterday I was riding my scooter and I fell off the scooter and I scraped my knee and my elbow.
Oh man, you weren't wearing any pads? No protection? Oh no. And did you fall off?
My master on
Did you fall off your scooter because somebody pushed you, or did you fall off your scooter just because you lost your balance and you fell?
Because I lost my balance.
So was it an accident?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about what happened to Dove when he tripped over my foot and fell down? Did I intentionally try to hurt him, or was it accidental?
Accidental.
Accidental. So Dove got really, really upset. And I see your hand up, Mila. Hang on. Dove got super upset. He was crying and he was calling me all kinds of names. And he was telling me that I'm the worst papa ever and that I don't.
Like my sister.
Yeah, he was being really mean to me because he thought that I did it intentionally, but I promised that it was an accident. I wasn't trying to hurt him, right? Yeah, Mila.
I'm a master on roller skates.
You're a master on roller skates? Do you have videos?
Yeah.
Maybe next time you can share your screen and show us a video of yourself on roller skates.
Yeah, but you can share your screen only if you're host.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jesus, when I trying to share my screen, it has this a
Oh. Okay, well, we can figure that out. We can plan for it next time. Maybe Mila, you can send me a video of yourself roller skating, and then I can share my screen and show it. Yeah, Juliana.
No.
Or you could make her host.
Yeah.
Can you share a video of me on the last time you disabled kids participant sharing screen?
Okay, I got it. I understand. Okay, well, I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys to share not your screen, but your experiences. I'd like to know some times from your own life when something happened that maybe it was intentional or maybe it was accidental. Can you guys share some stories with me? Like Juliana shared a story about the scooter. Yes, Rami.
One time in my preschool, like 3 years ago or something like that, or 2, I was playing with Isaac, and there was a tree and there was bricks, and he started to play with them and threw it right past some kids.
A brick?
Yeah.
He threw a brick at some kids?
He didn't go on their leg, but almost hit them.
But he didn't hit anybody?
No.
Oh, well, that's an interesting situation, because if he had hit somebody with the brick, do you think it would have been accidental?
No.
Well, yeah, it might have been accidental because he probably wasn't trying to hit somebody with a brick,
Yeah,
but he was being really irresponsible, right? He was doing something that was really dangerous. So this is kind of, I was going to talk about this a little bit later in our lesson, but I'm glad you brought this up, Rami, because we kind of have two sides here, right? On the one end, we have something that's totally accidental. And on the other end, we have something that's really intentional, right? Like you can accidentally bump somebody and they fall down, or you can actually try to hit somebody on purpose and you hurt them, right? But then there's like this place in between, which is what Rami was saying about his friend Isaac, right? Which is that Isaac threw a brick. He wasn't trying to hit somebody, but what he was doing was obviously really dangerous. And so if he had actually hit somebody, it would have been his fault because he knew better than to throw bricks in a place where there are a bunch of kids around, right? Okay.
You're playing.
Yeah, you're playing, but it's very dangerous. Okay, who else has an example? Thank you for sharing, Rami. Who else? Mila.
When I was riding a scooter, I fell and I had blood over here and on my knee.
Oh, so you weren't wearing pads either?
No,
Oh.
Papa was when Papa let go my scooter, I just fell.
Oh, I see. So you guys need to get some pads. Mila and Juliana.
And now I'm wearing pads, and I'm Papa's teaching me how to ride on a bicycle with 2 wheels.
Oh, that's great.
I took off my baby wheels.
You took off the training wheels?
Yeah.
That's everybody.
Me too.
That's great, you guys.
And I know little kid, and his name is Isaac too, and I don't really like him because he's like terrible. He's like fighting and doing all that stuff, and in group 2 or group 3, I don't know which group.
I see.
In stoplight school.
Okay. So it's good. So Mila's learning how to ride her bike with 2 wheels. Now, Mila, if your dad is helping you ride your bike on 2 wheels and he's kind of holding you so that you don't fall down, and then he lets go for a second so he can try to let you ride on your own, and then maybe you ride for like 3 or 4 seconds, but then you fall down, you fall off the bike. Would that be accidental or would that be intentional?
Accidental.
Yeah, I think that would be accidental, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't let it go. He's when I'm riding, he's not even. I'm turning the. He's just
He's holding the seat.
Yes, he is only
Yeah.
holding the seat.
I did that for Dove as well. I held the seat for Dove so that.
Sasha,
Yes, Alexa.
actually yesterday when nobody saw, when one daytime and I woke up, I wanted to take food out my tooth, but then when I was taking it out, it went so fast that my shaking tooth just popped out.
You lost a tooth yesterday?
Yeah, I got it out because when I put my finger in my mouth and then I took it out, it went so fast that the tooth just popped out.
Oh my gosh. And
I lost a tooth too today.
today?
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys are losing teeth left and right. That's so crazy.
Sasha, actually, I left those teeth, the first one and the second one that I ended up.
How are you guys losing so many teeth so quickly? What's happening? Yes.
This already girl, and now this one fell down, and this one is moving, and this one, and also this one is moving also.
So if your tooth kind of fell out, or if you were like eating something and then because you were eating something your tooth came out,
Sasha,
was that accidental or was that intentional?
Accidental.
Oh, I see that. That's the one you lost, Alexa, the one on the bottom there?
and
Ooh.
I lost this one.
feel my lip popped.
Ooh, ow. So did you get money from the tooth?
I didn't
You lost a tooth.
use my teeth. I keep them.
You don't give them to the tooth fairy, you hang on to them?
I just don't want to give them away.
I lost the tooth right here.
Wow.
It's very big though.
That's really impressive. And so, Rami, are you keeping the teeth or are you giving them
What?
to the tooth fairy?
I can't hear you. Again,
Microphone.
please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Are you keeping your teeth or are you giving them to the tooth fairy?
I don't know. I did not find them. This time I'll try to keep them.
Okay. All right. So who else has examples of things that are accidental or things that are intentional?
really hungry
Have,
to eat the house.
have.
Oh no, what is happening?
Who's watching cartoons?
But I don't want to be so big.
I guess it was Alexa. Okay. So Daniel, what about you, man? Can you tell me an example of something that you did that was accidental?
Gosh.
Yes.
I have, I think when somebody, do hear me.
Lisa, tell us an example.
One time I was like, tired, and then I was get sleeping, and then my daddy or mommy wake me up,
And then what happened?
and then I was being real sad.
So you were sleeping and your mom and dad, there was some commotion and your mommy or daddy woke you up.
Yeah,
Do you think they were making the commotion by accident or
they just do that every day.
they're always making noise?
No, they always like wake me up.
They always wake you up. Okay. Okay. I guess that's intentional then. If they're always doing it, they do it on purpose, then that's probably intentional, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So Daniel, what do you think, man? What about you? And can you give me an example of something that you did that happened to you maybe as an accident? No? How about well, I gotta unmute you. Daniel, do you know how to unmute yourself, buddy?
Of course.
Okay. Daniel, unmute. Good. So tell us, Daniel, about something that happened that was accidental.
Nothing.
Nothing happened?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, let me give you another example of a situation. This happened a few months ago. I went to the kitchen and I opened the refrigerator and I saw that there was a cookie in there, right? And I was like, "Ooh, that cookie looks delicious," and so I ate it. And then my wife came home and she was like, "Hey, what happened to that cookie in the refrigerator?" And I said, "Oh, that one, it looked really good, so I ate it." And she said, "Oh, well, that cookie was for Dove. I was saving it for Dove." And she got really upset with me that I ate the cookie that was supposed to be for Dove. Now, do you guys think that what I did was accidental or intentional?
Accidental.
Accidental.
You didn't want to eat it.
Dove says it's fine because he still eats a lot of sweets anyway. But the question is, even though,
Sasha,
yes,
why does on the mama's on Papa's computer, it always says the host would like to unmute me.
I don't know, but I'm not doing anything now, and you're unmuted now, so it seems to be working fine. So it was an accident that I ate the cookie that was supposed to be for Dove, right? But do you think I could have done something better instead of just eating it? Could I have done something that would have been a little bit better?
If you did that, you just had to do a new one.
What do you think, Rami? What do you think, Lisa?
Maybe you would just like do one more or something.
Like get another cookie?
No, like make one or get another one.
So there'd be an extra one? What else could I have done before I had eaten that cookie? Yeah, Mila.
I have it. I know.
What, Lisa?
I know. Eat those cookies. You can just do a new one or buy a new one.
Or buy a new one? What do you think, Juliana?
You could ask before you take it.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution. I could have asked, I could have sent a message to my wife and said, hey, there's a cookie in the fridge. Is it okay to eat it, or are you saving it for somebody? Yes, Mila.
Mm, well, you could just get to know and ask if mm, mm, if he if there's a cookie for him.
Yeah, I could have done that, absolutely. So there are a lot of situations like this that we have where it's not necessarily accidental, it's not necessarily intentional, but we can always do better in order to prevent an accident from happening, right? Let's talk about, for example, remember we were talking about probability, and we talked about what happens on a rainy day. When you like wake up in the morning, you look outside, oh, it's raining. And we talked about what happens when you drive your car on a rainy day. Who remembers? Yeah, Juliana. Oh, we gotta unmute you.
You could get in an accident with other cars.
You could get into an accident with other cars on a rainy day. Why are you more likely? Why is there a higher probability that you could get into an accident on a rainy day?
Because it's very slippery.
Because it's very slippery, right? So, for example, let's say there's a car driving. Hey, Dove, do you have your cars here somewhere?
How about
What?
can I bring?
Yeah, I just have two cars. Okay, Dove is going to get some cars while he's doing that. So let's imagine that it is a rainy day. It's been raining for a while. The roads are really slippery, and you decide that you're going to go drive in your car because you have to go to the store, right? So you get into your car and you start driving. And when you're driving down the road, you see a sign that has some numbers on it, a white sign with some numbers. What does that sign mean? Yeah, who knows? When you're driving and on the road, you see a white sign with some numbers on it. What does that mean? Alexa, do you
It
know?
might be a speed limit.
It's a speed limit. That's right. It's a speed limit. And so let's say the speed limit is 5, but you're driving 35. Are you driving faster than the speed limit or slower than the speed limit?
Faster.
You're driving faster than the speed limit. Speed limit 25, you're going 35. And then you're driving in your car, but while you're driving, you're every once in a while you're looking at your phone, right? And then also while you're driving, you're eating a sandwich. So you're driving, it's slippery and raining. Can I have 2 cars, please?
Anything.
Hang on, can I have 2 cars?
I got you.
I like the road, and here is our road. Okay, Dove, I want you to show me 2 cars driving on the road, and the person in the car that's in the back is eating a sandwich, looking at their phone, and driving over the speed limit. And the person in the front is just driving, right? Well, this is pretty hard with the road. Let's just do cars like this.
No, the road.
Okay, so can you show me 2 cars driving? So here they are, they're driving. The person in the, no, there should be one behind the other, one car behind the other. So there's the yellow car, and is it behind the van or in front of the van? Dove is trying to figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, so the van is behind the yellow car. Okay, so the person in the van is eating a sandwich, looking at their phone, and driving over the speed limit. It's raining. Suddenly, the yellow car stops. And because
It's the red light.
the guy at the red light and the guy in the van can see that the yellow car stops because he's on his phone and eating a sandwich. and he's going too fast, and so he hits the brakes, and what happens? Can I see this car for a second? So the guy in the silver van is driving a little too fast. He's eating a sandwich. He's looking at his phone. The yellow car stops. The silver car doesn't see it in time. And what happens?
Crashes.
It
The
crashes.
car hits the yellow car.
But Papa, do you
Great.
Bыстрый minivan, а вот это Porsche.
Okay. Great.
Porsche Sports.
Okay. It's a sports Porsche. Give me this. It's a sports Porsche and a minivan, a fast minivan. Minivan hits the Porsche because the person in the minivan was eating a sandwich, looking at his phone, and not paying attention and driving too fast. And so the question is the person that in the minivan, when they hit the yellow car, is it an accident or is it intentional?
An accident.
What do you think, Juliana?
Accident.
Neil says accident. Alexa says accident. Rami?
Like in the middle, I think. Like first, he's like looking at his phone that like looks so like on purpose, but it's an accident. He didn't want to do it.
What do you think, Unicorn? Hey, Unicorn, what do you think? Do you think it's accidental or do you think it's intentional? So,
what are you talking about?
yeah, so Rami said it's kind of in the middle, right? And why is it in the middle? Well, it's not intentional because he wasn't trying to hit the other car, right? But he was doing a lot of things that made his driving unsafe, right? He was not paying attention. He was looking at his phone. He was eating a sandwich. He was driving too fast in the rain. So he was doing a lot of things that, even though it was an accident, maybe that accident wouldn't have happened if the person was being more careful, right?
I think it was an accident.
Okay, I agree with you. It was an accident, but he could have followed the rules and been more careful, right? Yeah, Daniel, what's up?
If he was eating a sandwich and eating one bite and looking at the road, this is the good chance.
Yeah, I agree with you that if he was looking at the road the whole time and maybe just took a bite of a sandwich, it might have been okay. But he was doing a lot of other things that made it unsafe, right? So an example from our basketball game yesterday was when Dove and I were playing, and Dove was trying to take the ball from me, and I was trying to not let him take the ball. Yes.
I was thinking we will talk about unicorns.
About unicorns? Okay. Well, we can definitely give an example.
But why didn't you give Dove the ball?
Well, in the game of basketball, when you're playing one-on-one, you're trying to not give the ball to the other person. You're trying to score on your own. And so Dove was trying to take the ball. He was trying to steal the ball, but I wouldn't let him. And then I turned around to try to shoot the ball, and then my hand came up like this, and it hit Dove in the face. And again, he got really upset. He started crying. He started calling me all kinds of names. Now, was me hitting him in the face accidental? Yes.
Not
Could it have been prevented? Could I have done better to not hit him in the face?
Yes.
Probably, yeah, because I know that Dove is a new player. I know that
he's a kid.
And I know he's a kid, and I know he's just learning how to play basketball. So
And you should give the ball back.
So it's my responsibility to be more careful, right? Because I'm the adult, because I am an experienced basketball player. So it's my responsibility to be more careful with him and make sure that he doesn't doesn't get hurt, right? Let me give you another situation. We went on a hike. We went on a hike yesterday with some friends, right? And we were
Okay.
on a hike. We went on a hike with Mila and not this Mila, a different Mila.
To get that
Mila and Diora. So we went on a hike with some friends.
I have an idea.
We went on a hike with some friends, and we were walking through the forest, and there was a log, like a wooden log, a tree that had fallen down. And so I said to the kids, "Hey kids, I have a challenge for you. Who can jump over this log?" Right? So here's the log, and I said, "Who can jump over it to the other side?" Well, everybody got really excited, and everybody tried to jump over the log, and everybody did it except for one girl who, when she was trying to jump over the log, she jumped, but then she tripped on the log, like her foot hit the log, and she fell like on her face and on her hands. It was kind of not pretty. And she didn't really hurt herself, but she was upset and she was crying. So did I make her fall intentionally, or was it an accident?
Accident.
Accident.
Whose fault was it?
Nobody.
Was it anyone's
Nobody.
fault?
Nobody's
What could we have done better to prevent the accident?
Uh,
Have not made anyone jump over the log.
Yeah, I could have not made the challenge, but that would have been kind of boring, right?
yeah.
So what could we have done?
Jumping over a little rock.
Yeah, you might have.
Jumping over a little rock.
Yeah, maybe figure out how high people can jump first before challenging them to jump over a big log. So I could have said, "Hey, do you feel comfortable jumping over this log? Or do you think you can jump over this log? Or do you want to try a smaller one first?" Right? So we could have been more careful instead of just trying to jump over the big one right away, right? And we could have prevented the accident if we had just thought about it a little bit more. And that's oftentimes that's what happens, right? Is that accidents happen because people are not being careful. Just like the person driving too fast in the rain, just like me playing basketball with Dove, just like our friend tripping and falling over the log. Yes, Daniel?
If he was driving and not looking at just one time on the road, he can crash in the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would be really bad. So we have to be, one way to prevent accidents is to be more careful. Now, let me ask you a different situation. So yesterday when we were playing basketball with Dove, he got so upset with me at some point because he was frustrated and exasperated that he actually tried to hit me. He like threw a punch and tried to hit me with his arm. Now, do you think that was accidental, or you think it was intentional?
Intentional.
Intentional, that's right.
It was intentional.
Have any of you ever been so... He wanted to give me payback, he says. Has anybody ever been so angry that you hit somebody? No?
I don't know if I
Never hit
did.
anybody?
I don't know if I did.
I didn't.
No, you cannot do that.
I don't know.
You never hit anybody before? Okay. Well, I can tell you for a fact that Dove has tried to hit me before when he got really frustrated with something.
Master,
Yes.
do we can after class play a game with these?
What are those? Are those candies?
No, it's a chocolate.
Oh, it's an abacus. Oh, very cool. We have one too. Yeah, we can play that. Shut it. Like what you have.
Like
So
I will
did
do it like
he didn't.
Yeah. So let me. So Mila is learning how to ride her bike, right? Do you guys want to see a video of? Yes.
Did Dove hit you, or he went out of space so he wouldn't?
Well, I tried to prevent him from hitting me, but he definitely hit me a couple times. So I punished him and I told him no cartoons for a week.
remember I told you if we can see like cool animals, like how they can hibernate or something.
Cool animals so they can hibernate. You know, we have a boy on our green schoolhouse named Aton. And Aton is an animal expert, and he did a whole presentation about animals the other day. So he sent it to me, and I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to see if I can use some information from what he did to do another Green Schoolhouse lesson about animals. Okay, so we'll do that. I can give you an example. Yes, Lisa.
Can we watch the video?
Sasha.
Yes, Lisa. Yes.
I think do you get the paper which one I give it to you when Dove give me a lesson?
Can we watch the video?
What was it? What were you asking about, Dove? I wasn't quite sure.
Sleeping and eating.
Can we watch the video?
Sleeping and eating. Do you guys know our cat Steve? You know, the one that Dove brings here every once in a while?
No.
You don't remember our cat Steve?
I remember him.
No, I don't want you to bring him again.
That's what I know.
They know. And so you guys, our cat
Steve, I want to get Steve.
our cat Steve is when Dove plays with him and picks him up, very often our cat Steve will get tired of this and he will scratch Dove in the face or on his arm.
I got some scratches, so I showed them.
Here's our cat Steve. I'm going to share my screen with you guys.
Where?
Right there. See that? That's Steve right there. You see him?
Yes.
That's with our friend Kamalani right there holding Steve. So yeah. So
Can we see the video?
I'll show you the video in a bit. But so Steve will scratch Dove every once in a while. Now, is Steve doing that intentionally or by accident?
Intentionally.
Intentionally. Now, here's the question for you guys. What's the difference between animals doing something intentionally and people doing something intentionally? If a cat bites you because you're playing too rough with it, and a person bites you because you won't give him the ball, like a kid bites you because you won't share, what's the difference between a cat biting you and a person biting you?
I don't know.
Yes, Juliana.
A cat has pointy teeth.
A cat has pointier teeth. What else is the difference between a cat biting you and a person biting you? Yes, Daniel.
Because
It have pointy that it can bite you when you have blood in your hand.
It can, yeah. It's got pretty sharp teeth, and it can definitely bite you, and you'll have blood on your hands, blood from the bite. But what else is the difference between a cat biting you and a person biting you?
because they're
A cat is smaller than a person.
A cat is smaller than a person. Is a cat smarter than a person? Do cats understand the difference between what's right and what's wrong?
No.
not really.
No, they
Not
can't.
really. They kind of do. They sort of do. Like they know they're not supposed to, climb on the table. They know they're not supposed to eat your dinner while you're not looking. They kind of know it, but do they really understand? Do they really remember? Not really. They're an animal, right? So cats don't really understand the difference. So oftentimes Dove will get upset at our cat Steve and say mean things about him and yell at him and and be upset at him and be angry at him. But really, cats, even though they do things intentionally in the moment, it's different from people doing something intentionally, right? Because people can understand the difference between right and wrong, and cats,
Different from a cat and a human.
and that's a big difference, right? Okay, let me show you. Since Mila is learning how to ride her bike, we'll take a break from our talking, and I'm going to show you a video This is from 1 year ago when Dove learned how to ride a bike with 2 wheels. Okay?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to show you a video.
I know how to drive a bike with 2 wheels already.
This is,
And I already with 2 wheels, just with
you
2
guys, hang
wheels.
on a second.
So how many days is it?
365 days. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is Dove learning how to ride his bike with 2 wheels.
Yes, yes, yes. That time you had hair. Oh, please.
Oh God, he's going to fall.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness, he's driving zigzag. He's driving zigzag. Oh,
If you're just learning, you can't just, like, go zigzag all the time.
So if he falls down here, is it going to be accidental or intentional?
Accidental. Accidental.
Making him all the
It
time.
will be accidental.
You just make him every day like float down.
right here.
Interesting boy.
Who's on the scooter?
I don't know. It was just another boy. So that was Dove learning how to ride his bike. He accidentally fell like 100 times. He fell a lot. So Mila, get ready. Mila, there is no way to learn how to ride a bike on 2 wheels without falling a lot. So you just got to put your
I always do it, and I, like, don't fall.
put your pads on, put your helmet on, and
Dasha, just when we will do this game.
we'll do it in a second. So, guys, I want to show you, we have a special guest. Mila is here. Remember the one I told you about with the cookie? She's here, and she's going to give us an example of something you guys are going to have to decide. Is it accidental or is it intentional?
Already know me.
Mila.
Yes.
They need to give the kids an example of something, and they need to decide, is it accidental or is it intentional?
Imagine you are cooking dinner and then the phone rang and then you got distracted and now you're talking on the phone and you forgot that you had a soup on the stove and it started boiling over the pot and now you have soup all over the kitchen. Was that,
Accident.
Accident.
unless you just really like cleaning and then you did it on purpose so you have something to clean. Just kidding. Okay, what about the cookie you said?
Oh, I told them that there was a time when I opened the refrigerator, there was a cookie inside and I ate it. And then you got mad at me for eating the cookie because you were saving it for Dove. And I was asking him if that was accidental or intentional.
I see.
Yeah, and Rami came up with a point that you can have something that's in the middle where it's not intentional. It is accidental. It's not intentional, but if you had been more careful, then you may not have.
Hey, just Tasha.
Yes.
What? I didn't understand what you sent me.
What I sent you?
No, the email.
The email?
Oh, what they'll send me.
Email.
I just can't understand what he.
we'll send that. We'll send that. We'll discuss that later.
Sasha, look at my name.
That's not your name. I think you intentionally changed your name to be the name of somebody else.
Mm.
She changed my name to my name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna do.
Lisa, do you want to change your name
We're gonna
to
do.
my name?
We are gonna do a lightning round. This is gonna go super fast, so you guys got to be ready. I'm gonna give you a situation. It's gonna go really fast, and you tell me if it's accidental or intentional. Okay? Are you ready?
Mhm.
Gotta pay attention. Okay, you were playing baseball and you hit the ball and it flew and it broke a window in your neighbor's house.
Accident.
Okay.
Accidental. Accidental.
I didn't know. Okay. Another one. You went to the refrigerator. And you saw that there was a chocolate bar inside, and it said your mom's name on it. Your mom's name was on the chocolate bar, and then you ate it, and then your mom got mad at you. Was it accidental or intentional that you ate?
Intentional that you ate it.
Why?
Because you wanted it, the chocolate, but it was for your mom, but you just ate it when it was for your mom.
Aha, because you knew that it had her name on it, right?
Yeah, and you knew it was for her.
Okay. Mila's got a younger brother, right? So, for example, I'm gonna make up a situation. So, Eli was playing with he was drawing with some markers, and he was drawing with an orange marker, and then Mila also wanted to draw, and she was trying to draw a pumpkin, and she didn't have an orange marker, so she took away Eli's marker because she really wanted it for her pumpkin, and Eli got upset and started crying. Was it accidental or intentional?
Intentional. Intentional.
Intentional? Why?
No.
Accidental.
Because she knew he was much more little than her, and she just ripped it out of his hands and started coloring with it.
No, it was accidental.
No.
Okay. How about this situation? Eli was drawing with his markers, and he had the orange marker next to him. And Mila was walking in the living room, and she wasn't looking at the floor. She kicked the orange marker, and it rolled under the couch. And then Eli was like, "Hey, where's my orange marker? Who took my orange marker?" And Mila's like, I don't know. And Eli's parents were like, "We don't know. You're in charge of your markers." And he's like, "No, somebody took it. Somebody stole my marker." And everybody's like, "No, Eli, we don't know where your marker is." Did his marker disappear accidentally, or did somebody do something intentional?
Accidental.
Why was it accidental?
Because she wasn't looking where she was going, so when she was walking, her leg kicked it when she was walking because it went up as you're walking, and it kicked the marker.
Okay.
So that's why it's an accident. She didn't see that she did that.
Very good. Daniel, we all know Daniel is a watermelon expert, right? We know Daniel.
No, Lego expert.
Oh, he's a Lego expert?
Take your name.
He's a Lego expert. Okay, so Daniel is a Lego expert. So let's say Daniel, oh, here we go. Daniel built, yes.
Daniel is my friend, too.
Is he? That's great.
Daniel and Lisa.
That's awesome. I'm glad we have a lot of friends here. So Daniel is a Lego expert. So Daniel was building his Legos, and then he built this. Daniel, would you build out of Legos? Like a castle?
I'm much airplanes and cars and boats.
Oh, okay. So he built an airplane out of Legos, and then you were super proud of your airplane, right? You left it in the living room floor, and then your dad was walking, and he was carrying some heavy box or something, and he kicked the Lego airplane and he broke it. Was it accidental or intentional?
accident.
Accidental. Because he was like doing a thing and he didn't see it.
Perfect. Okay, now you guys did great. Now I'm gonna reverse it on you guys. I'm gonna ask you to give me a situation which is intentional or a situation which is accidental. Okay, so Lisa, give me an example of something that's accidental.
Like I was walking
Uh-huh.
and my cat is barking and I go and then my cat's like one time it's surreal. I was just walking around the kitchen and I was like walking my cat to like being right here and then I just fall down.
You tripped over your cat
Yes.
and that was accidental?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, good job. I think that was probably an accident. What about Juliana?
Sasha, I
Yes.
got another idea about Lisa with her cat.
Okay, hold.
Walking with her cat, and then she accidentally stepped on the cat's tail.
That's a perfect example of an accident.
One time I did that to real Alexa.
Sure.
Good point.
That is a good point. That is absolutely possible. Cats, they sit around, and it is possible to step on the tail by accident. Juliana, give me an example of something intentional.
You punch someone.
You punch somebody. That's right. That is definitely intentional. Rami, give me an example of something accidental.
I was on football with my dad, and then I tripped. I just fell because there was rocks and it was very slippery.
Got it. Slipped and tripped on some slippery rocks. Daniel, can you give me an example of something intentional?
On purpose.
Sasha, when we will do the shorter.
In a second. Mila, can you give me an example of something intentional? Okay.
It did happen today.
That's okay. It could be anything. You could even make it up if you want to.
I was doing yoga and when I was wanting to roll a ball, like Neza did get on my mat where I was just about to make a ball, and I just and I almost saw her, but I made a rock and I almost hit her.
Sasha, look at me.
Hang on, Alexa. So you were doing yoga on your mat, and your cat climbed on your yoga mat?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I didn't see her. I almost saw her, and I already made a ball.
Okay, so
by accident, and
so you hit her accidentally?
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked you to give me an example of something intentional. That's what you told me was accidental. Can you tell me something intentional?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
One day, Eli, when I was trying to get him away from me, I was trying to swing on the swing, but he didn't let me, and he just bited me by heel.
He bit you?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Do you think that was accidental or intentional?
intentional.
Intentional.
So maybe
Perfect.
he was just trying to make me get away so he could swing on the swing.
Yeah, maybe. You don't think he was trying to eat a hamburger that was like really far away? And
Bye, Sasha. I have to
that
go.
wasn't
okay,
very
bye, Alexa.
fair because
Bye,
Please scream for mom.
Bye,
So you don't think he was
Sasha. You
trying
know
to?
I have to go
Oh, I
because
do.
I
Thank
have
you. For,
Krav Maga.
I need to go.
you have Krav Maga?
Huh?
Wow. Okay. Well, be careful. Don't accidentally hurt somebody, Alexa. Krav Maga is like a kind of like jujitsu.
I actually do it alone, so
It's a karate thing.
I actually
Okay.
do it alone.
Well, terrific. Okay, guys, before we go, Lisa wanted to share with us what she has there. Lisa, in English,
Emma should just play game.
do you know a game?
Yes, like I will do number was this, and then you have to guess which number is it.
Okay. Do you guys know what that is that Lisa has? Do you know what that's called? It's called an abacus.
Bye.
An abacus is something that you use to help you count, right? So Lisa, go ahead and show us a number on the abacus. Make sure we can see it.
And this.
Is that 5?
No, it's like it's like also this one. This is 5, and this is like 4, and this is 10.
Oh, I see. It goes up in scale. Okay, very interesting. How about this, Lisa? Why don't you hang on to the abacus? We will. We also have an abacus, and I think it would be really fun to do a lesson where we all
But
use
you have to just guess how is what is one? This one.
14.
Yes.
Got it.
But
So-
actually, the kids have to guess it.
Yeah, so the kids, I think this might be a little bit difficult for the kids to guess now because they don't necessarily know how to use your abacus. So why don't we, this is a really good idea, Lisa. Why don't we do a whole lesson and we'll talk about how an abacus works and why it's useful, okay? Thank you for giving us the idea. Okay, friend.
Can we do the video of an Aton doing the animal?
I haven't seen it yet, but as soon as I see it, I am going to see how we can turn it into a lesson, okay? All right, my friends, I'm going to intentionally end the meeting and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.